also known as the Cowboy's wife. I'm no expert on anything and I don't claim to be, but I have been alive for 56 years, so I have some funny stories. Come saddle up with me and take a ride, and maybe I can make you laugh or smile or cry or give you something to just think about that day. Let's do this. Hey everybody, Trish, Charleston here. I don't know where you're listening from, but I am in Missouri and it is a balmy 11 degrees today. So it is a bit icy, and I spent the week in Mexico. So coming back from sunny and 75 to 11 was a little shocking, but you know, home is always home. But we had the privilege of staying last week in Cabo San Lucas in the Hard Rock, and it was an all-inclusive and business trip kind of deal. It was super cool. There were 420 people from NAU, and we got to just hang out and get to know each other better and make connections and all the things. But one of the things I noticed about the place, first and foremost, as soon as we got there, it's like eating at Chick-fil-A constantly, except the food was better at Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry, but those all-inclusive resorts never have the best food, but they have impeccable service. And as soon as you roll in, I mean, the Hard Rock's motto is, you know, love all, serve all. It's huge on the side of the wall, and it's super cool because it's like, well, who else do we know that teaches us to do that? It's Jesus, right? We're supposed to love one another and we're supposed to serve each other. Well, the whole time I was there, I was thinking it was so cool to watch the people, how kind they were to you. The man that took our luggage knew our name the whole week. And I mean, like when he came back, he knew our name again. Obviously, he could look it up and see what our name is, but they make a point to learn your name, and they make a point to call you by your name throughout your stay. And I don't care if you are at breakfast getting coffee or a big group of us at the last day, the business dinner dance thing. The people were just incredible. When we would be out at the pool, the guys that were waiting on us, I mean, the more fun they were, the more, you know, you wanted to tip them, because they were just they make your experience so much better. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I walk in someplace and I'm not treated well, I'm not going to spend my money there. I don't want to be there any longer. But if you make me laugh or you make me feel welcome and certainly call me by my name, then I'm going to be pretty excited to be there. This one guy, I mean, he was so much fun. He was balancing his serving tray on his head. And I mean, he was just a hoot. The next day we didn't get him, and it was kind of depressing because we really loved him. They were all great though. But I mean, even there was a lady, her job was nothing but to dance. Now I would love to have a job just dancing. Every night they'd have a show, and she was in charge of getting people, you know, fired up and dancing. And the last day I was there, they had a foam party in the pool, and Cowboy wasn't feeling very well. So I went by myself, and I didn't know a soul in that pool, but I had a complete blast just because there was foam blowing everywhere. And I mean, what's not to like? I've got to get one of those things for my grandkids. That's my next goal in life, is to figure out where I can get a foam machine, because I'm having my swimming pool full of it every time they're here. It was a blast. But all I could think of it was that scene from Made in Manhattan, because you could tell we'd go to different restaurants and stuff around, and some people just aren't nice, you know, and you find that sometimes when people have a lot of money, they get really snotty, but and you shouldn't, because it's the stupidest thing ever. Because if you want people to treat you kindly, you treat them kindly. And these people are, you know, were serving us just the absolute best. And that the scene from when she's talking to Lionel, I just couldn't quit thinking about it. And he says, to serve people takes dignity and intelligence. But remember, they are only people with money. And although we serve them, we are not their servants. What we do, Miss Ventura, does not define who we are. What defines us is how well we rise after falling. And I just thought that was the coolest thing, because all week long, all I could think about was how much I loved these people. And I was tickled pink to tip them, you know, every chance I got, because they were so good to us, and everything was included. So we didn't have to give them anything, you know, after you pay a certain amount of money and your food's included, and which is weird. I mean, it gets really weird. You go get coffee and donuts in the morning and you wait in line just like if you're at a normal coffee shop and you walk away and pay nothing. It's just, it kind of bothers me, but it was also kind of wonderful. But on the last day, we had this big dinner, and this guy that was serving us water and just making sure our table was taken care of, he puts on these funny glasses that light up and just do all these cool things, and he's just dancing the whole time. He's a waiter. He's not at the party, but he made the party. And I was so upset because after the party was over, I kept thinking I want to be sure and give that guy a tip. Well, he left, and so I never got to see him, but I just have him stuck in my mind because he made the experience so much better. And I think that's what happens when serving people is supposed to come from your heart. And I know that they're paid to do it and they have a job and that's their job, but it's supposed to be like the whole experience. And that's part of being a Christian, I think. I think in order for people to see Jesus in us, we have to serve others. And when we're serving others, and we do it with gladness. And I've had the privilege to know some wonderful people in my life. My grandparents were just the best servants ever. My grandpa would do everybody's taxes. And I may have talked about this before, but all the women around town or men, if they didn't know how to do their taxes, my grandpa did their taxes for free, and he'd shovel their driveway. And my grandma, I promise you didn't have a baby or have a death in your family or have a sickness in your family that my grandma wasn't bringing you something to eat. And a lot of churches and a lot of people still do that, but a lot of them don't. And I think that is so sad because we miss such an opportunity when we serve others. I mean, I just don't think people understand that when Jesus was washing the disciples' feet, he was teaching them what it was like. And they were, of course, freaked out because he was Jesus, and they didn't like it. And it is uncomfortable sometimes when people serve you. I don't necessarily like it. I want to be the one doing all the waiting on. But sometimes we're stealing people's joy and we're stealing people's reward when we don't allow them to do things for us. I mean, you hear when somebody dies all the time, let me know if there's anything I can do. Well, rarely does anybody say, please do this, this, and this. But when you need something and you reach out and give someone an opportunity to do that, you're actually blessing them, whether you know it or not. They want to bless you. And so their gift and their service is supposed to be a blessing to you. And so I think we all need to look around and be more appreciative of the people in our lives that are actually serving us. And we do it on a daily basis with our families. I mean, all of us have somebody that we take care of. I just spent about 6 hours unpacking. I've been doing laundry. I've been, just reorganizing things, putting away suitcases, all the things. I mean, that's all I've done all day. And I'm going to be doing laundry for a hot minute, but I'm just so thankful that I have a washer and dryer. And we had a horrible day getting back from travel yesterday, and I felt so sorry for the flight attendants and things. There was nothing they can do about it. We got on the airplane, it had a scratch, and so they had to come out, examine the scratch. It was so silly. I certainly don't want to be in the middle of the air and have part of the airplane go flying off over the ocean. I mean, that sounds terrible. So I appreciated it. What I didn't appreciate was boarding the airplane before this went down. So what was supposed to be a 2.5 hour flight became a 6 hour flight. And I will promise you, 6 hours being stuck on an airplane when you have the mental capacity for 2.5 is hard. And the poor people waiting on us, they're just as tired as we are. That's what we got to remember when those bad things happen like that and things don't go the way that we want them to go. We're not the only ones it's affecting. They have people that they'd like to see too. Did they scratch the airplane? No. Is it going to help anything if you freak out and yell at them? No. One guy was mad because he was going to miss, his connecting flight. Well, obviously all of us were going to miss our connecting flight. And strangely enough, we didn't. Our flight to Springfield kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And although we missed the Chiefs game, and yay, they won without us watching. Imagine that. I can't believe they were able to pull it off Kevin and I watching, but they did. And yeah, it didn't go like the travel day expected. We get on the next airplane, they do the same thing. They have to de-ice, and we wait another hour for them to de-ice before we took off. But we got home. We're here and we're thrilled to be back. And my takeaway from this today is simply that everyone has a job to do, and we can do it so much better. And when we serve each other with gladness, we're serving God with gladness. I mean, when we're able to show others love and kindness instead of, just treating people with frowns and hatefulness and rude remarks and all of those things come back around. I mean, the chances that our airplane was still going to be there when we got there was just zero. And yet it all worked out, and we're home, and we were able to make it for church at 9 a.m. this morning. So it has all worked out. And I just think that we all need to give each other the grace that, God's given us. And not only that, but to serve with gladness. And when you do get treated well, reward, those people with it, give them an extra tip and make their day, because we don't know what anybody's going through. And I love the Chick-fil-A. I love driving through the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A. There's nothing that makes me happier than to be treated so kind. And can you imagine what the world would be like if every business that you walked into treated you like they do at Chick-fil-A? So just remember that when you are doing your job tomorrow or this week or forever, to be nice, because you want people to be nice to you. Have a great week.